Hello and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Space Marine. Yes, I'll talk about the Emperor after this cutscene.
Inquisitor, your wound is slowing us down.
I can manage.
Brothers, take him to the Valkyries. I will draw the orcs off and meet you there.
Give the power source to the sergeant then, Captain.
Nope.
No, Drogon. The orc chieftain wanted the power source. When his orcs see I possess it, not you, they will follow me. Move out.
Logical.
Which route to the rally point, Guardsman?
Bastion Primus is that way, my lord. But it's all orc-held territory.
I love how happy the orcs seem to be by the presence of Space Marines, even though I've killed literally hundreds of their colleagues by now. But anyway, so yes, the Emperor first appeared, well, the Imperial records are a bit vague about that. But he basically managed to unite the warring tribes of Earth in a series of wars using effectively proto-Space Marines. Oh yes! This is one of the best bits of this game. Because it gives you a jetpack and a thunder hammer. The mighty thunder hammer is the rarest of all Space Marine melee weapons, and each blow discharges a powerful blast from the hammer's dedicated power field. Ranged weapons are limited to pistol and bolter while wielding the thunder hammer. But it is really wonderful. Anyway, so yes, he managed to unite the warring tribes of Earth and eventually started pushing humanity back out amongst the stars. And he formed an alliance with the tech priests of Mars. You know, and even allowed them to continue practicing their religion, even though he basically banned religion within the Imperium. And it wasn't until a long time later that anybody realised why he'd done that. He was effectively trying to counter the forces of chaos by getting rid of faith and just replacing it with reason. Didn't work, of course, but Thunder Hammer, you don't even need to keep tapping the button. Oh, look at that. But yes. So the Emperor then decided that in order to really spread out amongst the stars, humanity was going to need some pretty incredible soldiers. So he created the 20 Primarchs. Now each of the Primarchs was a little different.
The Greenskins are swarming your way, leaving our path open.
Good. But each of the Primarchs was to all intents and purposes a demigod. Each one utterly incredible in his own way. You know, they were perfect warriors, perfect scholars. You know, hell, even a couple of them had fairly artistic sides. But unfortunately, while they were still in their gestation pods, you know, years before they were ready to be born, there was a massive warp storm in the Emperor's gene vaults where he was busy creating them. Because the forces of chaos had seen what he was trying to do and they were eager to prevent it. And that warp storm couldn't kill the Primarchs, but it did scatter them all across the galaxy. You know, 20 children landing on 20 different planets. And nobody bring up Alpha and Omega on. I'm deliberately keeping this simple-ish. And so the Emperor used what was left of his research to create the Space Marines. Each Space Marine Legion was based on the genome of one of the 20 Primarchs. And then he started the Great Crusade, setting out amongst the galaxy to go and find his lost sons and reclaim humanity's empire. The first one he found was Horus. And Horus was still relatively young, so he was basically raised as the Emperor's son to all intents and purposes. Over the next couple of decades, he found the rest of his sons, the rest of the Primarchs, and the vast majority of them had basically risen to rule the worlds that they'd landed on. Because, let's face it, you know, Primarchs are incredible. That's the whole point. And each one took up leadership of their Space Marine Legion. You know, some usually renaming them and adjusting their tactics to suit the way they prefer to fight. So the Dusk Raiders, for example, became the Death Guard. Then things got a little tricky. The Emperor retired from the field in order to return to Terra and conduct some research. But he wouldn't actually tell anybody, even his own sons, what the research was about. Because he was an idiot. But he appointed the greatest of his sons, Horus, as War Master of the Imperium, and had him continue the Great Crusade to unite the scattered human colonies. Which Horus did for some time. Until there was a slight incident on a... what was the planet called? Darwin? I think it was Darwin. Where he was poisoned.
I am an instrument of the Emperor's will, Trooper. Now indicate to me the nearest concentration of orcs.
Aye, my lord. Master's plaza is just past his hab complex. It is swarming with the beasts.
Thank you.
For long.
Yes, what was I saying? Ah, yes. So yes, Horus was poisoned. And even his incredible genetically modified body couldn't fight off this poison. So, Erebus, who was a chaplain of the
We are within sight of
Word Bearers?
Imperial
Yeah,
Guard,
the Word
Master.
Bearers. Basically suggested that they take him to a place on this planet that was supposed to help heal people. Suffice to say, this planet was lousy with the energies of chaos. Horus was corrupted by this process, and he was tricked into becoming a servant of the forces of chaos. He then set about corrupting several of his brother Primarchs. One of which was already corrupted, which is Lorgar, who's the head of the Wordbearers Legion. But he managed to corrupt several others as well. Including Fulgrim. Fulgrim's the one I always feel sorry for in a lot of ways. Admittedly, Fulgrim loses all my respect later, but anyway. Where's that big weird boy gone? But yes, so eventually, after a lot of careful planning, the traitor legions declared their new allegiance to Horus by deploying a large number of troops to the planet Istvan III. This was units made up of combinations of 3 different legions: the Emperor's Children, originally the Lunar Wolves, by then they were the Sons of Horus, and who's the 3rd legion there? Can't remember off the top of my head who the 3rd legion on that planet were. Oh, it was the World Eaters, wasn't it? Yep. Anyway. So they deployed a mixed force to put down a rebellion on the planet of Istvan III. And the reason this was a mixed force was because it consisted of the members of each legion that were the least likely to side with their Primarchs against the Emperor. In most cases, a lot of the original Space Marines had been recruited on Old Earth rather than on the homeworlds of each of the Primarchs. So they sent down this force, and then they bombed the planet with virus bombs, which are...
out of fuel.
Oh. And virus bombs are basically incredibly nasty bioweapons. And that was the beginning of the Horus Heresy. It then raged for, decades at least. Hello, guys. Yes, and eventually it culminated in the Battle of Terra, where the Emperor actually took on Horus in person.
Welcome to Bastion Primus, Captain. Sergeant Sedonis
Where the Emperor got the living hell kicked out of him because he couldn't bring himself to kill his son.
Your Valkyries are the fastest way to reach you, and we have no time to spare.
Your men are already on board their Valkyrie, and the squadron's ready for liftoff.
Thank you,
We'll
Lieutenant.
get you to Calcis with all speed. It's time the Imperial Guard brought the fight to the Orcs.
That it is. Yes, so eventually the Emperor was critically wounded to the point where he was barely alive, so they interred him in the Golden Throne on Terra, where he's been for the last 10,000 years.
Look sharp.
So yes, all their technology basically comes from the original Dark Age of technology. You know, nobody invents anything, they just rediscover it. Orc Storm Boys. And fighter bombers. And yes, that is bombers spelt with a Z.
Max speed. I will shoot them off.
I'll be honest, given the accuracy of this heavy bolter, I'd be a bit cautious shooting at another Valkyrie in the air, even to get Orc Storm Boys off them. And again, Orc jetpacks should not work. And you've got to be a special kind of crazy to be an Orc Storm Boy. Admittedly, all Orcs are a special kind of crazy, so... As I said, literally no fear of death.
Storm Boys going for Valkyrie 3.
I'm on it.
Keep us in position, pilot.
Okay, Valkyrie 3, you're clear. Valkyrie 6, you're clear as well. Ah, hell. Thankfully, heavy bolts should get the job done against this guy. Get off of my Valkyrie. Come on. Kill that guy. Okay, that guy's down. Okay, not much I can do about the Orc ship, unfortunately.
It's breaking into the cockpit.
Brace for impact. Oh! That's not going to do that engine any favours. Well, that's just how bad our Space Marines are. Though you really should be wearing a helmet, you know, Titus. Now, I hate this bit because it takes away your bloody...
Lieutenant. Valkyrie 2 is down.
It completely rejiggers your weapons setup. You know, specifically, it took away my goddamn Thunder Hammer. And give me back the chainsword. Don't get me wrong, the chainsword is... It's kind of the iconic Space Marine weapon, and yeah, it's pretty awesome in its own way, but it's not a Thunder Hammer. Kick you. Goodbye. Do something about you. Like that. Rescue Rocket Boys. Okay. Yes, as you know, the Warhammer 40k universe does actually have some fascinating history and backstory, and a lot of very good books and stories written in it. I mean, one of the more, you know, because yes, basically, the reason that there's so many Space Marine chapters now, as opposed to the 20 legions there used to be, is that it was decided after the Horus Heresy that no one person could ever control the might of a full Space Marine Legion, because frankly, they're too powerful. You know, a Space Marine Legion is huge. And each, you know, which meant when the Primarchs fell, the amount of men they took with them was horrific. So each legion was broken up into much smaller chapters of roughly 1,000 battle brothers each. You know, that was the second founding. There have been a few more since then, but anywho, that's a reasonable point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.